On this episode of The Game Chasers,
this lady follows us down like 2-3 booths down and tells these people not to sell anything to us.
It's almost like somebody's just picked through all the good stuff constantly right before we get there.
And I can't even process any of this.
oh, that's nasty.
Everyone knows Texas is a big state.
Which means we got a lot of games here, and it's our job to find them. Hey, I'm Billy.
And I'm Jay.
We've known each other since the 90s. We've been gamers all our lives.
And now we're collectors.
Join us on our epic quest to rescue retro games from the dustbins of obscurity.
And give them a proper home in our game rooms.
Terence from Chargeback Forward, he's coming down this area.
He's coming in all the way from Canada to join us on our adventures.
I love Texas. It was too cold up in Raccoon City, aka Toronto, and I just wanted to come down and be warm, have my blood warm, chill out with the Game Chasers and my other friends, and see a new place.
We're gonna go out, hit the town, show them a few of our spots, and see what we can find.
I want to see games and I want to hump things, so you tell me what's going on.
I'll tell you what, you're familiar with episode 1, right?
Uno.
Okay, because you do watch. Okay.
I should fucking hope so.
Okay, you do watch. Let's go to Entertain Mart.
Yeah, this place has a ton of Nintendo games and a ton of Super Nintendo games, just like always.
Video games plastered on the walls. I see kids playing Street Fighter 4 poorly. I see Super Mario Brothers 3. And I can't even process any of this because I'm looking, the chasers are already looking at this display case and they're looking at these loose cartridges and I'm looking around and everybody's off doing their own thing and I'm kind of left there by myself. And I'm like, this place is too big.
Hey, ask her if she has any more games.
You wouldn't happen to have any more Nintendo games, would you?
No.
Nope, that's it. It's all?
Yep. No, we don't have any, thank you.
You know, it used to be whenever we go to Entertain Mart, we would find the occasional gem. But recently, it's just like every time we go in, it's the same common Nintendo games, common Super Nintendo games that you find everywhere. And it's just, it's almost like somebody's just picked through all the good stuff constantly right before we get there.
After we've done some investigation on Entertain Mart, it turns out that most of the reason we may not find something there is because there happens to be an employee, I'm not going to say who, but this person is also a collector themselves.
I've gotten at least 3 or 4 Super Mario RPGs, so I sell to people at conventions. So
He or she gets dibs and, obviously buys up all the good stuff.
We walk in and we're just left with the scraps.
I'll be your nemesis.
This person can't work every day. We'll catch them slipping eventually.
Look at this shit. Seriously, you just need to get a whole stack of Cybernoids. Complete your Cybernoid collection. Look at that.
So Terence was pretty impressed by Entertain Mart. I mean, the place is huge.
He actually wanted us to take him to these places that we go looking for games. Not for himself, because he doesn't collect.
I used to be a collector, and I'm actually not a collector anymore. I still love video games, but the whole reason I met Big Mike facilitated in my retro collection going to him.
So he was looking for something for him. He got a bromance or something.
I had Big Mike in mind when we were going out in terms of if I can get him something. But with Big Mike, his collection is around 2,300 games. And that's 2,300 complete games, not just loose cartridge only. You give up after a while. But I was hoping I could find, I don't know what I was expecting, but I was thinking maybe some Neo Geo, MVS cartridges, the arcade cartridges.
Entertain Mart doesn't check rarity on NES or Super Nintendo games. So every time I go in there, I'm constantly thinking to myself, I'm going to run into Cheetah two on Nintendo, but it never happens. It never happens. But one day it might.
So I'm just interested to see what potential hidden gems are around, So maybe some really disgusting turbo, some CDI games, or maybe some Turbo Duo games.
Now we're heading off to a place where Billy and I have had some recent success. We're going to Trader's Village.
You guys got to come up to Canada. There is some game chasing in Canada. It's just,
Honestly.
It's on dog and sled. And most of our game cartridges are made out of ice. So they may be useless to you by the time you get back down here.
We headed off to this place called Trader's Village. And it sounded like some really weird, like Western frontier, exotic, I'm gonna see horses, and I don't know what the hell I was expecting. God, was I wrong showing up at this shithole. When we have like a cold snap in the winter, and I'll try to speak American for you guys, it could go as low where I live as like 0 Fahrenheit. So to go from this temperature to 0, and people still decide freely to live there.
Trader's Village is a huge flea market, but it's extra big today.
Billy's over there pointing at me like, oh, what's this guy doing? While him and Terence are over there 69ing each other.
He's always, look at it right now, he's trying to get ahead of us right now.
We're gonna go chase. So the first booth we go to, Billy sees this really awkward looking, oversized Game Boy, like an original Game Boy. And it turns out it's a case.
You open it up, you store the Game Boy in it. There's a place to store like 15, 16 games, I guess. And it's closed, and I'm trying to open it up. The latch on it or something is like busted, and so I'm trying to work with it, and it's heavy, it's got stuff in it, and so I want to see what's in it. The lady originally said $25 before I picked it up, and so I'm looking at it, and she goes, "Can I help you?"
You got that, Billy?
Can I help you?
He tries to open it up, see what's in it, and the lady starts flipping out on him.
And she's like, "No, you can't touch this." And he's like, "What? Can you open? Can you show me what's in?" No, you steal from me.
So at that point, Billy looks at her and is like, wait a minute. Didn't this lady kick us out before? So I take a look and I'm like, you know what? I think she did. She kicked us out of her booth once because Billy was opening up the PlayStation games just to make sure that the discs and everything were in it.
Stupid me. I wanted to actually pick up the PlayStation games that she was selling, okay? I didn't walk into her house, look at her TV stand, go, oh, PlayStation games, just start opening up. No, this is her stacking it on the table for public consumption to sell her merchandise. I pick them up, look at the CDs to make sure that they're not scratched.
I'm not gonna be like, yo, how much for this PlayStation 1 game, and you're like, $7 and I pay you and walk off, open up, no disc in it. It doesn't work that way, lady, you know? I mean, you gotta let people see the goods.
And so she recognized Billy as a thief, but not just mistaken identity. She singled him out as the guy.
We all three look at each other like, what the heck is going on here?
This lady's freaking out, making a big deal. So I'm like, hey, whatever, let's just get out of here. Terrence is like, F it, let's just go. So we go down a few booths. This lady follows us down like 2-3 booths down and tells these people not to sell anything to us.
She starts getting on the phone, calling security, and we're just like, cannot believe what's going on here. All because I wanted to look inside a damn Game Boy case.
So these other vendors are looking at her like, what's going on? Looking at us like, what's going on? So yeah, there were some words exchanged there.
I try to handle these situations in a mature manner.
Search me. Search me. Search me. Pat me down. Pat me down.
You know, this lady, she don't want us in her booth filming, fine, but you know, she's preventing other people from making some money. So you know what? F her.
She's just telling them to go fuck themselves. And Billy's like, yes, ma'am, thank you. And Jay's like, I'm sorry to inconvenience you. Have a great day. And we walked around, and Billy just felt so bad about the whole thing. So bad. Like, what did I say to that poor woman to make her so angry? I don't know. So we went and chased some more. That's not how it happened, by the way.
She thought we were stealing from her booth, so she kicks us out. That's the second time that's happened. Once was a separate occasion.
She saw
and then
me
she
stealing?
comes down. She comes down like 3 booths down and tells them, it was in Spanish, but I'm assuming she was like, hey, don't let these guys in here. They're gonna take your shit.
So they see me stealing, and they blame these guys. Sorry. Like, honestly, you go around and buy used games, especially if they're a disc. Wouldn't you, like, open them and have a look at, see if they're scratched? Not at this flea market, no, sir. You hand over the money, and then people follow you to your car and then roll you for what you bought.
I said, shut up, bitch. I ain't stealing nothing. Watch, and I'll just empty my pockets, turn them out. You gonna pick all that shit up for me? No, I didn't fucking think so. So get your ass back behind the fucking counter and give me a deal for offending me. That's what I would have done.
Oh well, that's the way game chasing go.
I was in a flea market, and this one store has all this nice shit on display, and it's not for sale. What's the point?
I know, really.
Like some nice stuff. Like, do you know what it's like having a hard time? And you know, now Big Mike's got himself both the Neo Geo MVS, which is the arcade cabinet, and then the AES, which is the home console of the Neo Geo. But before, when he was hunting down an AES and he saw one of these things there, I'm pretty sure it was that, and he wanted to buy it, and they're just like, no, it's not for sale. Why would you show it? Why would you dangle it?
No kidding, right?
It kind of reminds me, you know, this really cool guy, you know, he went to some place called, like, I don't know what the hell it was, but he was trying to get like a Turbo Duo or something.
We were going to go to Game Exchange, but we just didn't have time to go because it's a 40-minute drive. He wants to go to Whataburger, never been there before, so we're taking him to Whataburger, and now it's off to Target because he's never been to a Target.
Kind of weird, but okay, you know, whatever. Let's go to Target. So, you know, we're sitting there shopping around, and Terence sees a shirt or two that he thinks he might want, but he's trying them on, and he's like, yo, where's the dressing room? So we, you know, point off that way. It's over there, and he just kind of looks around and shrugs and just starts changing right there in the middle of the men's aisle. Some people might say that's weird, but honestly, I think it's something me and or Billy would have done ourselves, so yeah, whatever.
But I just crank that shit out. I don't care if people are looking at me changing. What? Look at my titties. Look at my nipples. I'm a snake.
I mean, somebody had to get naked in Target.
Welcome to Texas. Wow. Damn. Low ride in a Lincoln Town Car with a sparkly purple paint job.
The day has been short with Terence, and our time with him has come to an end, but it was awesome hanging out with him. We actually first met him at PAX.
The dude's just really cool, really down to earth. Fits right in with me and Billy and our shenanigans shit, so, you know, hope he had a good time here.
And once again, I went chasing and came back empty-handed, but my heart was full of awesome memories. Guess that's the way game chasing go, bitches.
We haven't been game chasing in what, like a month now?
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to this flea market out in Seagoville, Texas, just right outside of Dallas.
Hopefully it won't be riddled with resellers.
Look, something you gotta know about me and Billy. We're not Pat. We're not Pat the NES punk. We don't get to flea markets at 6 a.m. or tweet about it at midnight saying I'm camping out waiting on this mug to open up. Nah. We like to get to flea markets at about 5 p.m. when everyone's trying to close up shop and go home and we're trying to find video games.
We're just all a bunch of lazy.
Hey, you know what though? It don't matter. We'll still find Flintstones, Little Samson, Chubby Cherub.
Have you checked the P.O. box lately?
No, I have not. You want to stop and check that?
Do we have time?
Yeah. It'll take a few minutes.
We have had a ton of people requesting to send us stuff, and at first I was like, no, but you know, after so many people asking, I guess I was like, all right, let's just set up a P.O. box.
Really? Which ones are those mine?
Top one says to you.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
A fan named Eric from Indiana sent me a box of stuff.
You kidding me?
Damn! Look at this.
It's Beautiful Joe.
Look at this. Beautiful Joe on PSP. I don't have enough PSP games. That's awesome.
I didn't even have any of the stuff that was sent to me.
I've been a big fan even before Game Chasers came into being. The Kirk and Spock figures. Pay homage to your trip to Comic-Con earlier this year. Hey Jay, did you hear the new Spock was gay? No, I didn't. Terminator 2 figures are some of the few toys to survive my childhood. I don't have a place for them and nobody wanted them on eBay. Anyways, keep up the great work. Vintage video
game. That's sweet.
That's awesome though. You know what? I'm gonna put this up.
In my opinion, one of the coolest things in there, and it's gonna get a lot of use, Sonic the Hedgehog walkie-talkies. This is gonna freaking rock.
I got a good deal over here at this particular vendor. Nintendo games for $2 a piece. Over. You read that?
Roger that. What's your 20?
My 20 is $20 in this dude's pocket, and I bought all his games. Sucks for you.
What?
Asian guy gamer sent you a giant condom?
Yeah, he sent me a giant condom. It's still too small.
So we pull up to this place, and it is a dirt flea market. How much is it?
$3.
$3?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's too much. I'll give you 2.
Ticket say 3.
They ain't gonna know. Perfect, right up our alley. Reminds us of the place in Cleburne where we got all that stack of freaking games for like $2 a piece.
We walk right into the flea market, and just so happens the very, very first booth we go to is a reseller.
I got most of them. You have one? Yeah, I got most of them.
There are 2 types of resellers. There are the resellers that they're collectors themselves, and they know if a game is rare or valuable, and nothing's going to get past them. But then there's the resellers that basically just buy up all the games in the flea market and then mark them all up. You know, more obscure titles like a Bubble Bobble Part 2 or a Little Samson or Panic Restaurant. You name it. Those titles are more likely to slip through because they don't have the knowledge. They're just basically going by what's popular.
Mario Kart. 64, $15. I think Yoshi's Story, $15 also. I mean, great games, but guess who has 2 thumbs and doesn't pay that much for video games? This guy.
Whenever I go to a reseller like this, especially, what I'll do is I'll just basically skim over for anything really rare. So, surprise, surprise, no Action 52 or Hot Slots and no Bubble Bobble Part 2. So, moving on.
So we're going along and looking for games, of course, and Billy comes across a tripod that is pretty freaking good and pretty freaking cheap. Asks the dude how much, $5. He sees if the camera fits, it does.
This is a high quality production show here. We go to the flea market to get our equipment.
Despite what y'all may think about this show and our budget, the equipment around here is pretty low brow. I don't know if you can, it's taped. We got a, turn it this way. Is that a lollipop stick sticking through the thing here so the hinge is works properly? But yeah, ask Terence. This green screen we're using, literally $2.50 at Target is what it cost us.
2, 4, 6, 7. 7 pieces of green construction paper. We were all big here.
I mean, look at this. I could breathe on it and the legs would bend.
The lighting's, the lighting's professionally done, let me tell you. You got Walmart bags.
A $5 tripod is a score.
$2? $2? Okay.
I see a Game Boy and it's green. You don't see many green Game Boys. Original Game Boys. I'm not talking about a Game Boy Color. An original Game Boy that's green.
I think Jay would appreciate this.
The day was good, the day was bad. We found a new place to go to. A couple guys said, yo, come out next weekend, we'll have more stuff.
Let's see, I got me a original Game Boy that's green. I got me a Star Trek board game. And I got me a Nintendo game, Ultimate Air Combat.
Honestly, the good stuff was found right here at the post office. Didn't even have to go far for that. Damn, I could have saved some gas.
That fucking chode that does, I'm a snake. Look at me, I'm a snake. I slid there in your garden. Asshole, 6.5 million views. The guy go fuck himself.